My name is Savannah Lennon, and this is my assessment of the Week 12 readings for Physics 2211. The main physics ideas this week were that of the angular momentum principle, our third fundamental principle in this class, torque, angular momentum, and then cross products in component form. New information for me was angular momentum, torque, and cross products, and previously learned information was vectors and, of course, the two initial fundamental principles. Some formulas or tips that were given from the videos this week were in concern with the angular momentum principle. A little analogy for you. So angular momentum principle is to rotation as the momentum principle is to translation. And whenever you have one of these problems, your first question should be, what's the axis? And you can set the axis to whatever you want, just like that. This is the axis of rotation, just like you can set the axes in your translational motion with the momentum principle. And then for torque, we have that torque is equal to F perpendicular times the position vector related to the force and the axis, or the force perpendicular times sine times the position vector related to the axis. And this is a cross product of the position vector and the force vector. And then the right-hand rule, which you can also use in angular momentum, is the concept that if you align your right hand with the position arrow, orient your palm so it faces your force, curl your fingers into a fist, and stick your thumb straight out, this will tell you the direction that the torque or the momentum is moving. So that will be into or out of the page. And then angular momentum is the cross product between momentum and the position vector. So my curiosity was the right-hand rule, and it does not relate to the neuroscience field. I just found it super interesting that you could incorporate such a seemingly mundane kind of technique into more advanced concepts like torque and angular momentum in order to help determine the direction of these two concepts. And it can also just help you check your work too. I found the concept of torque the most confusing, but the video explanations were sufficient for me to figure out how to compute torque problems. And in addition to this, the incorporation of the right-hand rule also helped my comprehension of how torque should be moving in order to double check my calculations. Along with this, knowing how to do the cross product, like being taught that in the last video, really did help with the calculations of torque and angular momentum because they're cross products. And then I didn't use any outside resources because the videos were thorough and provided good examples.